How do you calculate the dilution of solution? So the formula, we say it is the initial concentration, okay, you multiply by the initial volume, okay, you multiply by the initial volume to give you the final concentration, which you multiply by your final, what? By your final volume. So this is how you work out questions under dilution of solutions. Okay, so we've said that when you're diluting a solution, the moles of that solution does not change, because the only thing that happens is the increase in volume, but not the increase in what? The number of solutes. The number of solutes remain the same. So this can be abbreviated as M1 V1 is equals to M2 V2. Okay. M1 representing the initial concentration, because concentration, we said molarity is the expression that is used to explain the concentration or the amount of solutes in a solution. So we have M1 V1 is equals to M2 V2. So it is important to know that the initial and the final concentration have the same. The initial and the final concentration should have the same what? The same unit, as well as the initial volume and the final volume. They need to have the same units. So let us do an equation. You're told calculate the volume of 5.0 moles of sulfuric acid. Calculate the volume of 5.0 moles of sulfuric acid solution that will be required to make 100 centimeters cubic, 1,000, that is going to be required to make 1,000 centimeters cubic of 0.05 molar sulfuric 6 acid. So we are going to write the formula, which is M1 V1 is equals to M2 V2. Okay, now the formula is M1 V1 is equals to M2 V2. So do we have our first molarity, the initial concentration? Yes, we have the initial concentration as 5.0. Okay, so our M1 is 5.0. Do we have our initial volume? No, we do not have. So we don't have. Now we come, do we have our final volume? Yes, which is 0.05 molar. Okay, do we have our initial final volume? Yes, because we've been told we calculate the volume that is going to be required to make 1,000 centimeters cubic. So our final volume, which is V2, is 1,000 centimeters cubic. Okay, now M1 V1 is equals to M2 V2. So we have M1, which is 5.0. Okay, you multiply by your V1, which we don't have, to give you your M2, which is 0.05, by M2 times V2, which is 1,000 centimeters what? Cubic. So what do you get? Going to have our V1 as 0.05. You multiply by 1,000 centimeters cubic. Okay, you divide by your 5.0. Okay, to get you, so this is molar, so you can, the molar and the molar cancels out, so you're going to remain with 10. The volume, or V1, is going to be 10 centimeters what? 10 centimeters cubic. So question is, when 50 centimeters cubic of 2 molar, when 50 centimeters cubic of 2 molar potassium hydroxide was diluted, The final concentration was 0.1 molar. Calculate the volume of the diluted solution. So it means 50 centimeters cubic is our initial what? It is our initial volume. So 50 centimeters cubic is our initial volume, and 2 is our initial concentration, 2 molar. So we are told to work out the final volume, which is V2, which has a concentration of 0.1 molar. The question is, when 50 centimeters cubic of 2 molar potassium hydroxide was diluted, the final concentration was 0.1 molar. Calculate the volume of the diluted solution. So what do? You say M1V1 is equals to M2V2. M1 is the initial concentration, which is 2 molar. You multiply by the initial volume, which is 50 centimeters cubic, okay, to give you your M2, which is, the M2 is what? The M2 is going to be your 0.1 molar. You multiply by V2, which is what we do not have. Now, after you have worked it out, you're going to get that. This side you get your so 2 times 50, you get what? You get 100 molar per centimeters cubic, which is going to give you 0.1 mV2. Okay, so you divide by 0.1 m to get your V2, divide by 0.1 m. So the molarity and that one cancels out, m and m cancels out there, the molarity, and your volume is going to be, so your volume in this case is going to be 100 centimeters cubic. 1,000 what? When you multiply this, you're going to get what? So when you work it out, you're going to get 1,000, or your V2 is going to be what? 1,000 centimeters cubic. Okay, so that is how you work it out. Or this is our final what? This is our final volume. So that is how you work questions under dilution of solution.